It was an act of pure evil. Last night, a gunman opened fire on a large crowd at a country music concert in Las Vegas, Nevada. He brutally murdered more than 50 people and wounded hundreds more.
Breaking news now on CBS 2 News at 11, an active shooter situation on the Las Vegas Strip.
Right now, and we want to bring our viewers around the world up to speed, as well as everyone who is watching us here in the United States.
It wasn't hours after this event that some politicians in Washington called for new gun legislation in the wake of the shootings.
However, we are getting emails about Senator Murphy of Connecticut saying stand up to the NRA and guns are the problem.
Yeah, it has
Hillary
turned
Clinton, similar
quickly
tweets.
Political. Quickly political.
And it'll get to that later this week, as you just mentioned. You know, surely we're going to hear additional statements, particularly from those on the left, going to the conversation about gun
I
control.
don't think they're going to wait till later this week.
No,
Well,
they haven't. Hillary Clinton has already tweeted several times about the NRA, and they're politicizing this while people are still in surgery and dying.
You know, you still had police and firemen recovering bodies, relatives not sure if their family members were involved, and the tweets started coming and the statements started coming, the blame on guns and the political stuff. Was that too early?
Hillary Clinton wasted not a second leveraging the attacks in Las Vegas. This morning she tweeted, quote, "The crowd fled at the sound of gunshots. Imagine the deaths if the shooter had a silencer, which the NRA wants to make easier to get." Clinton then added, without a trace of irony, "Our grief is not enough. We must put politics aside, stand up to the NRA, and work together to try to stop this from happening again."
Absolutely understanding that people want to advance their agendas, but right now, while we're still figuring out exactly how many people were shot, exactly how many people have died due to this massacre, the best thing for us to do is to wait and listen to law enforcement and leaders in Las Vegas as they continue to investigate. We can get more information, and then we'll have plenty of time to argue about things like whether or not the NRA should be pulling for the suppressor legislation.
We still don't know enough about the facts to really draw any conclusions about what kind of legislation, you know, what lessons we would learn from this particular incident. I think we should probably still wait a couple of days to figure out exactly what they know about, you know, where did the guns come from, how did they get the guns, exactly how they were used. Only then would you be able to draw some sort of lesson from this particular incident.
So we don't even know the basic answers to the questions of why this happened. Does it seem a little premature to you to wade right into a complex debate like gun control within hours of this happening? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think we need to wait, let the first responders, let the law enforcement find out exactly what happened, then we can have another debate. What was your response to Hillary Clinton's tweet?
Well, it was shocking, and it was also ghoulish. She put out that tweet at about 7:15 in the morning Eastern Time. The police in Las Vegas were still removing bodies as of 2 p.m. Pacific time. We also know that not everyone had died right up until we still had more deaths. This is a woman without any details, without any elements of information, moving immediately into a political framework.
Why would I trust someone who points to silencers within hours of this shooting as the cause or an exacerbating factor? That's like moronic.
Because silencers would make more shootings like this actually easier to accomplish. And Congress right now...
But how exactly does that happen? I mean, so you're sticking with that talking point? Because that's not true.
What I'm
Have you ever
with
fired a weapon with a suppressor on?
Yeah.
What kind?
So, AR-15.
With a suppressor on
I was a prosecutor, Tucker, so we'd go out and look at the weapons that were taken off the streets.
So you fired an AR-15, shoots 5.56.
It doesn't silence completely. It suppresses the sound, which shot spotters won't pick up. It makes it harder for victims to hear it. And so it's just another tool to disguise.
No, but are you being serious? So you've actually fired the rifle with a suppressor on it, and you're telling me that you didn't have to wear earplugs when you did that?
It suppresses the sound. But Tucker, the point here...
Wait, did you have to wear earplugs when you did it?
You should always wear earplugs if you're shooting for safety.
Okay, yeah, because you're going to go deaf otherwise, because that's how loud... I just shot one the other day. It's super loud. So if you've done that, you can't look at me straight in the face and say, they would be undetectable. Are you kidding?
Caleb Keeter put out a really interesting statement after the shooting because he was there. And he apologized for saying that the Second Amendment should not be checked. It's really interesting. Listen to his experience. Even if you don't agree with him, listen to what he experienced so that you have a sense of it. He said, I've been a proponent of the Second Amendment my entire life. Until the events of last night, I cannot express how wrong I was. We actually have members of our crew with CHL licenses and legal firearms on the bus. They were useless. He said, we need gun control right now. My biggest regret is that I stubbornly didn't realize it until my brothers on the road and myself were threatened by it.
Look, I give him so much credit in this case, this musician, so much credit in this case, to at least admit that he was wrong.
And in a mass shooting, it just doesn't work that way. Instead, the weapon is used by the madman to mow you all down. The weapon in that case is not your ally. It is not your friend. It's the thing that's killing you. So please don't let it happen to you or your family members before you can see that logic as well. We should have reasonable checks. Otherwise, mass shootings like this are going to happen over and over again.
Yeah, I think maybe honoring the dead and the victims might come first.